They say beauty fades with age, but anyone who's ever truly looked into the eyes of an older woman knows that's not true. There's a different kind of beauty that comes after 60. It's softer, stronger, more powerful than youth, and sometimes all it takes to bring that beauty forward is a little color, not makeup, not plastic surgery, just the quiet power of the right colors, chosen with care, worn with confidence, and felt deeply from within. Because when a woman over 60 wears the right color, people notice, men notice, not because she's trying, but because she's glowing from the inside out. And the science agrees. Certain colors trigger emotional responses. They connect to memory, attraction, even longing. So today, let's talk about 8 colors that make men instantly notice older. Women, not in a loud way, but in that quiet, magnetic way that says, I'm still here and I still shine. Tell me before we begin, have you ever worn a color that changed your mood completely, even if no one noticed? Comment below, because that one color might just speak to another woman's. Part 2. Let's begin. Deep red. There's something about deep red, not the loud kind, not bright cherry, but the quiet red, like wine, like berries at dusk, the kind that feels warm just by looking at it. When a woman over 60 wears deep red, she doesn't need to say much. She doesn't need approval. She just is. It's a color that carries stories. It holds fire and softness in the same breath. Psychologists say red draws the eye, but deep red does more. It holds attention. It says, I've lived, I've loved, I still burn. And men may not even know why they turn to look. They just feel it. The quiet confidence of someone who knows her worth but doesn't need to explain it. That's the magic of deep red. Royal blue. Royal blue doesn't shout. It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't try to be noticed. But it is. It's the color of calm oceans, of quiet skies before sunrise, and it carries with it something few notice: depth. When a woman over 60 wears royal blue, she doesn't look louder. She looks wiser. There's something powerful about it, and as if the color itself knows silence can be stronger than noise. Men feel it, even if they don't know why. They see a woman in royal blue and feel steadier around her, like she's walked through storms and still knows peace. It's not the color of youth. It's the color of someone who's become herself. And that kind of presence, that's impossible to ignore. Soft lavender. There's a kindness in lavender, a softness that doesn't make you small. It makes you safe. When a woman over 60 wears soft lavender, it's like her heart is showing. Just a little. Not too much. Just enough. For someone to feel warmth again. Psychologists link lavender to calm, to healing, to quiet trust. And when men see that color, they may not say a word, but they feel it. They feel her presence, gentle, grounded, and so deeply feminine. Lavender doesn't need shimmer. It doesn't try to look young. It simply says, I'm at peace with myself, and I still choose softness, and there is nothing more beautiful than that. Emerald green. Emerald isn't just green. It's life in its richest form. It's the color of healing, of deep forests that have seen every season and still stand tall. When an older woman wears emerald green, she doesn't look like she's chasing beauty. She looks like she already holds it. It reflects strength without aggression, warmth without neediness. It says, I've grown, I've softened, and I'm still blooming. Psychologically, green soothes the heart, but emerald brings respect. Men notice it, not like a spark, but like a slow sunrise. They may not know why they feel drawn in. They just feel safe and intrigued because emerald tells a quiet story, one that only a deeply lived life could wear so well. Classic black. Black is often misunderstood. People say it's for hiding. But when an older woman wears black, she's not hiding at all. She's owning every room she walks into. There's no color more confident, no color more complete. Black says, I don't need noise, I don't need permission, I know who I am. It's not about drama, it's about clarity. And that kind of clarity only comes after decades of learning. When to speak, and when silence is louder, psychologically black signals elegance, power, and boundaries. And on older women, it feels like a crown. Men feel it, that steady energy. They don't always understand it, but they recognize it. It's not the color that draws attention, it's the woman wearing it. Warm rose or dusty pink, some colors don't shout, they just open the heart. Warm rose, dusty pink. These aren't little girl shades. They're the colors of women who've been through enough to choose kindness and still stay soft. When an older woman wears these colors, something in her feels safe again. It's as if the rough edges of life melt a little. Psychologically, soft pinks speak of care, love, and gentleness, and that makes them powerful, not weak. Men don't always notice the color first. They notice how your face softens, how your eyes seem warmer, how suddenly the whole room feels lighter, and they can't help but look because there's strength in choosing gentleness. And warm rose reminds them of that. Creamy white or soft ivory, there's a quiet grace in white, but not the harsh, bright kind. Not cold white. I'm talking about creamy white, soft ivory, like morning light through thin curtains. When an older woman wears this shade, it's like everything heavy lifts. Psychologists say soft whites bring clarity, purity, and stillness, but on a woman over 60, it does something deeper. It reflects peace. It says, I've made peace with my past. I don't need to impress. I choose peace. It brightens the skin without shouting. It softens the eyes. It brings out something tender, something almost spiritual. And men, they may not even realize they're turning to look, but they feel the glow, not from glitter, but from a woman who's learned how to be light in a heavy world. Ivory doesn't demand attention. It just receives it, gracefully. Burnt orange or terracotta. Some colors carry warmth that feels like home. Not bright orange, not neon, but burnt orange. Terracotta, the shade of earth, fire, and fading sunlight. It's the color of stories whispered over tea, of hands that have worked, healed, held. It's not polished, but it's deeply human. When a woman over 60 wears burnt orange, it doesn't say, look at me. It says, I'm still glowing in my own way. Psychologists say these tones stir creativity and emotional comfort. They're grounding. They feel safe, yet full of energy. And men notice, not because it's loud, but because it feels real. Like warmth they didn't realize they were missing. Terracotta doesn't ask to be admired. It just reminds people what it feels like to be near something honest. And that is rare. Maybe you never thought colors could speak, but they do. They speak when you don't feel like talking. They shine when you feel a little dull inside. They remind you that you are still here, still soft, still strong, still worth noticing. You see, Johnny, this wasn't really about what men notice. It was about what you forget when life gets too quiet, when mirrors stop feeling kind, when closets stay closed too long. You weren't meant to fade. You were meant to glow differently. Red reminds the world you still burn. Emerald says you're still blooming. Royal blue, it whispers your strength. And dusty pink, it tells everyone your heart is still open. Even after everything, you don't need permission to be beautiful again. You don't need a reason to wear something that makes your spirit feel alive. You don't have to wait for someone to take you somewhere special. Wear the color anyway. Wear it when you make tea. Wear it when you sit by the window. Wear it for you, because when you feel good, you carry light. And that light, people feel it, without you saying a word. So tell me, which color spoke to your soul today? Comment it below, you might. Inspire another woman who forgot what color feels like on her skin. And if this video made your heart feel seen, tap like. Not for the numbers, But so YouTube shows more quiet beauty to women like you. And if you want to walk this journey with us, subscribe. This space was made for you. You're not fading. You're just beginning to shine in a softer light the world still needs.